Before we begin, make sure you're subscribed if you enjoy real-life drama stories like this. I never imagined that an ordinary dinner invitation would spiral into one of the most uncomfortable and revealing nights of my life. My wife, Emily, and I had been married for 6 years. Like most marriages, ours had its cracks. Things weren't always smooth, but I prided myself on being patient, level-headed, and respectful, even when things felt strained. I believed that respect was something you lived by, not something you demanded. That belief was put to the test that night. Emily suggested we meet a few of her friends at a new restaurant downtown.
I didn't object.
I assumed it would be relaxed, just food, conversation, and an easy evening out. But the moment we walked in, something felt off. People glanced at Emily a little too long, their expressions curious, almost anticipatory. I brushed it aside and stayed focused on keeping things light. We were halfway through dinner when Emily leaned toward her friend Sarah and whispered something. I barely noticed at first. Friends whisper all the time. But then a strange sensation hit me, tightness in my chest, a quiet instinct warning me that something had shifted. Emily turned back toward the table and laughed. Not a warm laugh. Not a shared one. It was sharp, public, and edged with something unkind. The table went quiet. Nearby, conversation stalled. Heads turned. That's when I saw Sarah's face. The color drained from it. Her eyes widened, her lips parted slightly, like she'd just realized she'd stepped into something she couldn't undo. For a moment, time felt suspended. And slowly, the reason became clear. They hadn't expected me to be there. Or rather, they hadn't expected who I was. Most people saw me as quiet, unassuming, easy to dismiss. They didn't know that my profession required precision, restraint, and the ability to stay composed under pressure. I didn't need theatrics. I didn't need to explain myself. So I stayed exactly where I was, silent, still, observant. I didn't glare. I didn't smile. I simply sat there, letting the weight of the moment settle in. Emily kept chatting, unaware, or pretending to be, that something fundamental had changed. But Sarah knew. Others around the table knew. Their restless glances toward me said everything. Weeks earlier, Emily had casually brushed off my work in front of these same friends, treating it like it was insignificant. She assumed my achievements, my reputation, the years of effort I'd invested didn't matter in her social world. That night, that assumption began to collapse. As dinner went on, the atmosphere shifted. Conversations became quieter. Laughter sounded forced. Sarah couldn't stop watching me, as if trying to reconcile what she knew with what she was seeing. Each time Emily tried to pull her back into side jokes, Sarah stiffened, reminded that something was very wrong. I took slow sips of my drink, every movement measured. Emily started to sense it too. Her confidence wavered.
Her posture changed.
For the first time that evening, uncertainty flickered across her face. She didn't fully understand it, but she felt it, the realization that I wasn't as invisible or powerless as she'd assumed. This wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about ego. I didn't confront her. I didn't call anyone out. I let silence speak on my behalf. And it worked. People began to understand that the calm man they had dismissed was fully aware, fully in control. By the time dessert arrived, the tension was impossible to ignore. Emily's laughter sounded strained. Her words came out cautiously, like she was suddenly aware that every sentence mattered. Sarah avoided eye contact altogether. I leaned back, composed, watching everything unfold. Experience had taught me that authority doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it's felt most strongly when nothing is said at all. Emily tried to regain control with humor, but it fell flat. The table no longer responded the way it had earlier. The dynamic had changed, and everyone knew it. They saw her differently now, and they saw me clearly for the first time. When the night ended, we left without drama. No arguments. No raised voices. Just quiet understanding. On the drive home, Emily barely spoke. I didn't push. She knew she'd crossed a line, and I allowed her to sit with that realization. Before pulling into the driveway, I stayed in the car for a moment, reflecting. The night wasn't about embarrassing her or proving myself to her friends. It was about boundaries, about respect, about showing that dignity and self-control are far more powerful than anger. She learned that lesson without a single confrontation. And her friends learned something too. Respect earned quietly can't be taken away or controlled. That dinner marked a shift. Emily would never look at me the same way again. And without raising my voice or making a scene, I had reaffirmed something important. My calm presence was not weakness, and my worth was never up for debate.